Hopefully I've got the share. So I'm just going to do an introduction first, really, of the actual kind of case that we're talking about. And so really what this function is talking about is enabling remote peering in an automated fashion. So the establishment of a VLAN from a third-party network, such as Epsilon's, all the way through to the internet exchange. And at the same time, what this process is doing is utilizing a common gateway or reseller port into LINX in this case, establishing the fact that the peering or remote peering customer has a name, they have an AS, they want to establish a relationship within the internet exchange, and then have the physical layer 2 connection set up so that then the layer 3 and the BGP and everything can be configured. So it's really, okay, I'm over here, I want to connect to the internet exchange that's over there. I don't have a POP there, unfortunately, but LINX and other IXs through remote peering allow companies to still participate and peer in that internet exchange even without physical equipment. So the premise of the demo is that we have a port established already in this purple bubble in the Epsilon network. The customer or the member already has a port there. So now we're going to establish a service and just showing the type in. So while I'm kind of getting this logged in, so to speak, it's a graphical demo. Basically, let's start again. Let's do that. So basically, this is a portal of an SDN environment. So this is the Epsilon one. There are, a number of SDN functions out there now. So we've landed into the SDN environment. Our layer 2 connectivity is called a Cloud LX. So I'm just jumping into the environment that's going to allow the establishment of the connection. So I'm going to connect on a connection point. SDNs now generally show 3 types of connectivity that are driving programmable connectivity. Clouds, Mike in his great presentation already spoke about clouds as a very interesting point for the IXs. That they are driving billions of dollars of connectivity in the world right now. Internet exchanges, of course, and then just other networks, other data centers. But in this case, we're going to connect to LINX. So we're going to click on, I want to connect to an internet exchange, obviously LINX. I'm not going to worry about an area. I can see LINX down here as well. So I'll just click on add a service to LINX. LINX is in the US as well, but we're going to connect to LINX in London. And so just go through that waterfall selection. We're going to connect from in Africa. So we'll choose Cape Town in a Terraco environment. And so you can see here, already have a port allocated to connect into LINX. We're going to choose that, but you can also see there's other ports there. And a lot of SDNs will also show that that port's in use. This one here is running at 5%, but we're going to connect using the LINX port that we pre-allocated, take a network protection service for a year. We're going to select just 50 meg, and then we can see a price. Remember my 6 points. We're going through that 6-point process right now. So I'm going to put a service name in, just call it LINX service name, choose a VLAN. I can see the available VLANs. I'm going to choose 3 actually. Put AS number for the demo. I'll put Epsilon's AS number in and Epsilon AS set as well. Obviously put a MAC address in. So what we're doing is essentially filling out the LINX application form, but it's now embedded into a portal. So we're not inventing any real new data here. We're just really digitizing the LINX form. And so we have all the normal contacts you would expect to fill out on your LINX form. So I won't go, that's already filled. And so I'm at that confirmation stage where, okay, I definitely make sure that this is the service I want. It's LINX in London to Cape Town, You can see all the details there. Like most portals, I have to agree to the T's and C's, which can be clicked on and read, and I'm going to buy that service. So now essentially what's happening is we're buying that service. This configuration process is now the call out where the API has been invoked. So it's the LINX version of the IX API has been invoked, and we're sending that data through to LINX. That provisioning process is occurring. So we're orchestrating the service within the network itself from Epsilon's perspective. We need to wait for confirmation from LINX. So from the A end, the service has now been set up, and usually it takes like literally like this, a few seconds. You know, at worst case, if you are configuring lots and lots of different endpoints, maybe a couple of minutes. That's the SDN. But now you can see that the service has been established, but it's still down because we haven't had the confirmation and response yet from the LINX end. So if we're looking at the API, so don't forget, this is an API interface that was designed by the internet exchanges, and LINX being a huge participant in the design. So we've basically utilized the different API data, pushed that out, captured it, pushed it out, and that's been accepted by LINX. So I won't go through the context of the API, but the IX API website has all the information. So we're sending customer information, et cetera, in that API. And so that now heads over to Mike, and then it's Mike and his team who actually have to go through and check all this information. And I'll hand over to you, Mike.
Yeah, so what you see here is basically our internal CRM system. And you see here the entry for the customer that got created. Important to see here, since it's a new member, on the top left, you see the membership status is currently as applied. As we are a membership organization, the API won't have there's a manual process involved to prove that membership. Through the API, we also got the details of the different accounts and contacts which got created for this one. So if we go to the next one, we'll see those contacts being created. So this is the first one, which was the legal and the billing contact, which got created here. And then the next one will be the technical contact, and which will be the NOC contact and the implementation contact created for that. And last but not least, there is the entrance for the service that got created as well. And again, in this stage, as this is a completely new service, you can see at the bottom of that page that currently the service is in a reserved status, but all the details are there. A port has been allocated. We see the MAC address that got passed to us through the API call. In this case, this would now get picked up by one of our NOC engineers, provisioning engineers, who would validate it and then push it out through our automation platform to the network. If we would use an example of a change to an existing service, there would probably be no human intervention. The API call would come in, and it would straight away, if all the information is present, it would straight away go from our system to our automation platform and pushed out to the network, and the change is applied. But this shows the data as it arrived at our end. Head back to Mark.
Cool. And thanks, Mike. So then once Mike's team actually validate and confirm all of that, the pushback is in terms of status that the services end-to-end goes live. And then within the SDN platform or the portal here, you can now see the full end-to-end service health. Hopefully it's always green, but the service is up and running. Start pumping data over that, sending traffic, and like any sort of normal portal and service statistical capability, you can now see the traffic and the health and how it's performing from end to end, from the network port all the way through to the IX port, peering port. So that's basically it. What it does is just really change the user experience from a configuration perspective. Saves a lot of time and effort with companies like Epsilon, and you can imagine that as Mike and his team build more and more programmable functions over that API. It will also expose more and more features, and he mentioned a lot of those features they're thinking about already in the presentation he just did. So thank you.